The US government has officially been in shutdown now for 18 minutes. It's gone past midnight there in Washington, D.C. And joining me live now is Fox News Capitol Hill reporter Chad Pergram. Chad, great to have you join us today. The shutdown's underway. Where to from here in Congress?
Well, right now, Trudy, they're trying to figure out if there's a way to get the government back open. This is the first time that the federal government in Washington, D.C. and across the United States has closed since 2019. There was a record 35-day shutdown. I should note that not every part of the federal government in Washington, D.C. and across the U.S. shuts down. The military, national security, intelligence operations, they continue. They still deliver the mail. If you get social welfare benefits, those checks are still mailed out. But non-essential services, which includes national parks and people who work as clerks at federal agencies, they are off the job. It's very interesting. In the American Constitution, there's the 27th Amendment that mandates that members of Congress are paid during a government shutdown. It says that there can't be any varying in their rate of pay. What we're starting to notice, though, Trudy, is that the Democratic Party, which is in the minority in both the House and Senate here in the Congress in Washington, D.C., there were 3 Democrats tonight who started to side with the Republicans. And so we think that that ice might just be starting to break a little bit. You have the Republican Party that's in the majority in the Senate, and what they want to do is just renew the funding at the current spending levels, no other add-ons, for a temporary period of time until the middle of November. What the Democratic Party, that's out of power in Washington, D.C. right now, what they're arguing for is a restoration of health care subsidies to make health care cheaper in the United States, Trudy.
We saw earlier in the year Chuck Schumer, the Democrat leader for the Senate, managed to get enough votes to keep the government open. But there's a lot of pressure on his leadership, wasn't there, at the time? Pushback from the base that they want to see a fight here with Donald Trump. Do you expect there will be more defections? 3, as you say, so far, in terms of those votes before midnight. Are there expected to be more tomorrow?
That's very possible now that we're into a shutdown. Sometimes what happens with these government shutdowns is if the government shutdown goes on for a couple of days, there's a breaking point. They start to get some polling, and one party or the other starts to realize that they're upside down, and they cry uncle and say, OK, we're going to vote to open the government. You're right that there has been pressure on the Democrats and Chuck Schumer to try to fight. As I say, they're out of power right now. Chuck Schumer provided the votes to open the government, keep the government open back in March, and really got nothing out of it. And so the liberal base, notably Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is also from New York City, as Chuck Schumer is, who's the progressive congresswoman, she has been kind of nipping at his heels. And a lot of Republicans are saying that Chuck Schumer hears footsteps. Maybe she wants to run for the Senate at some point. Maybe she wants to run for president. So that's something that people are looking at. But once you get into a government shutdown, the thing that tends to open up the government is that they have some sort of a crisis. During the 2013 shutdown, there was a wild shootout and car chase here on Capitol Hill. A couple of Capitol police officers were injured, yet they were coming to work and not getting paid, and people sobered up and said maybe we should reopen the government. You had air traffic controllers in New York City at LaGuardia Airport who walked off the job because they had not been paid for 35 days. This was in 2019, and there was concern about aviation security in the United States. And so sometimes you have an event like that, maybe a national security issue, God forbid terrorism, maybe a natural disaster like a hurricane or an earthquake or something, and that might force members of Congress to reopen the government.
Yeah, fascinating to see how this is going to play out. Fox News Capitol Hill reporter Chad Pergram, thanks so much for your time. Hope you get some sleep.